If you would have asked me about 1 month ago what I thought about me being a runner, I would have told you it was never going to happen. I've never liked running, ever. But 1 month ago, I decided I wanted to start running just because I've always liked exercising, but I've always hated running. But, giving it some thought recently, I realized how efficient running is. It takes a short amount of time to get a really good workout in. And after I'm running, I feel great. So, since I've been able to keep up for the first time in my life with running for so long, I started thinking about what if I wanted to get other people to start running like I did. Someone who hates running, maybe someone who's never ran before. What kind of advice would I give them to start running and keep that consistency? And the first thing that I would tell them is that you need some sort of program. That's something that I've always lacked in my life. Every time I've tried running before, I just started running. I told myself, I'm going to run for 10 minutes. And I would do that. I'd end up feeling crappy. And after about a week, I would give up. But this time, I've stuck with it for so much longer than I've ever have. And I've actually been progressing a lot. But more on that later. Getting back to my tips is get a program. What do I mean by a program? You need something that challenges you in different ways, and you need something that's going to get you out of your comfort zone and is going to give you some type of guideline as to what you're going to be doing every day. Just going outside and running is not something that we're all good at. And if you're like me, then you struggle with that. You struggle with setting yourself some goals. So my advice is to go online and look for a running program, either some text, something that you could print out and look at what you have to do every day, or you could do what I did, which is download the Nike running app. Now, there are other apps out there like Couch to 5K and things like that, but the reason I went with the Nike one is because right off the bat, it looked like it was free. The other ones didn't look like they were free. I might be wrong, I don't know. But again, I don't want to talk about the Nike running app right now. I just want to say that it is a structured thing. There's a bunch of different workouts you can do. You can even do single running, which is actually how I started. But eventually what you want to do is you want to get one of the programs on that app or any of the other apps. I'm currently right now on an 8-week program to do my first 5K ever. I've never been able to run a 5K. I've never been able to run more than 10 minutes. And now look at me, about 4 weeks into this program, and yesterday and the day before I ran for 25 minutes straight, no stopping, no breaks, and I felt incredible. So you need a program. That's the first thing that I would tell you. If you have any questions on programs and things like that, you could just reach out to me, leave me a comment or whatever, and I'll give you my honest opinion on it. But keep in mind, I am a beginner. Eventually I want to get better at running, but at this moment in time, I am a beginner. The second thing that I would tell you is don't set goals that are unrealistic, or don't set goals that are just not achievable. What do I mean by that? Or not achievable, but out of your control. What do I mean by that? A lot of people, including myself in the past, you start out running because you want to get in shape. You probably want a six-pack. You probably want to lose 100 pounds. These things are not always in your control. Those are things that your body does. Yes, you can starve yourself. You can exercise like crazy. But at the end of the day, it's your body the one that's deciding to lose the weight. It's your body the one that's deciding to create the muscle. It's not you. So those things are not really in your control. What are things you can control? Consistency. Right? How often are you running? That is pretty much the only goal that I set for myself. My goal at the beginning, now it's a little bit different, but my goal at the beginning was I want to run 4 days a week. That's it. You could do 2 days a week. You could do 1 day a week. Any of those is more than what you're doing now. So set yourself a goal, something very easy, something very achievable, and it's okay to break it into smaller goals. Don't say things like, I want to run a 5K if you've never run a 5K before, because it's kind of hard to see the progress that you're making toward that. Whereas if you start by saying, I want to run once a week, and then 3 weeks after you start running twice a week, that's something that you're able to achieve and control yourself. So set yourself those goals, right? And make sure that they're very easy and very achievable. And the more goals that you have, the better, as long as they're very small goals that you can achieve within once or twice a week. Because if you're setting goals that'll take months, believe me, you're going to give up way before that. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm out of breath, it's because I just finished a run from the Nike app. The third goal, and this one is actually something that I've told people that I've tried to get running in person, they'll tell me something like, oh, but you know, you're so much faster than I, even though I'm slow. My times are horrible. That doesn't matter. None of that matters. They'll tell me, oh, but you're faster. You know, it's easier for you to keep up with this, whatnot. What I say to that is your goals should be personal, okay? It shouldn't have to do with what I can do. If you think that a fast mile is done in 7 minutes, that shouldn't worry you. You know, time yourself. See how long it takes you and race yourself. Try to get better against yourself. You know, the cool thing about running is that it's something that you just do for yourself. You do it by yourself. So nothing else matters. If you want to be competitive with yourself. If you start to compete with like people who have been doing this for a while, or even not, what if you just started with a friend and they're already so much better than you? You're gonna feel discouraged. So forget that. Just do this for yourself. Do it by yourself. Set your own goals. One of the most important advices that I could probably give to anybody is make sure that the running conditions are perfect and suitable for you. I remember every time in my life, for some reason, whenever I wanted to start running, I would pick like midday. I don't know why. I actually think it's because I would think that by me running in the middle of the day when it's the most hot, it means that I'm going to work out harder, I'm going to burn more calories, I'm going to sweat more, like all these things that would actually make me want to hate running even more. You know what I did this time? I started running in neighborhoods because neighborhoods offer a lot of variety, a lot of scenery. Whenever I've run in tracks before, it's just boring. It's the same loop over and over. So I started running in neighborhoods, obviously being careful, and I try to pick neighborhoods that are like really closed and not that much traffic by, but making sure that you are running in scenes that are favorable to you. I used to always run in the heat. Now what do? I run at 6 or 7 in the afternoon, in the evening when the sun is setting. I try, if it's cloudy outside, I go for that, because the thing is, if you start picking times that are really hot, really uncomfortable, or really cold, you're not going to want to run the next day. So make sure that you pick whatever scene is favorable for you. And my final piece of advice here, which is probably one of the most important things beside the last one that I gave you, is to take it easy. Again, every time that I've run in the past that I've failed, that I stopped running after about a week, I've tried to run as hard as I can. I'll tell myself, my goal is 10 minutes. My goal is 10 minutes and I'm going to run it as fast as I can. I would look at my time. It was horrible. I would get discouraged. I was sweating like crazy. I was out of breath. All I wanted to do is take a nap after. So that's why my advice is take it easy. It helps, and I got this from the Nike running app. I never realized this before, but it helps if you think of your running from 1 through 10, 10 being your max out sprint, and a 1 being like right like that border between like walking and jogging, like where you're not walking, you're not fast walking, but you're like pretty much like jogging. That's your 1. So it helps if you try to think of your running between a 1 through 10. You never want to run out of 10. Okay, this is my advice here to you. I'm not a coach or anything. This is just what's helped me. You never want to run out of 9 or a 10, not even an 8. I think a sweet spot is from a 2 to a 7. So when you're first starting out, start running like at a 2 or a 3. And as you get better, right, you start implementing some 6s and some 7s in there. And little by little, your body's going to ask you for more, believe it or not. So basically, take it as easy as possible. If you feel like your run is easy, that's actually a good thing, because you're going to want to do it more often. And paired with that structure, you're going to be like, man, I'm supposed to be working out more or running more, but it's not feeling that much harder. That's good. So make sure you're taking it easy, because the whole point is to get out there and run. Your goals shouldn't always have to be about getting better or getting faster or anything about like that. If you're a beginner like I am, then your goal should be about building that consistency, getting out there and running. Forget about the time, forget about everything else. So honestly, that's the advice that I would give to anybody who's thinking about running. That's what I would tell them for sure. So if you have any questions, like reach out. I'll answer any comments that you leave. And I'm going to be making more videos on this, because there's tons of stuff that I've been learning on these runs that I want to share with you guys. And if I can get you guys to run the way that I've been running, I mean, that'd be amazing, to be honest with you. All right, guys, have a good run.